Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City is a painting entitled Portrait of Jenny. Out of that painting comes our story, the truth of which lies not in the telling, but in your heart. This much we know, that there was a girl named Jenny who sat for the portrait. For the rest, science tells us that nothing ever dies, but only changes, and that the past and the future are together at our side forever.
It was during the Depression, the winter of 1934. There's a type of suffering for the artist which is worse than anything a winter of poverty can do. It's more like the winter of the mind, a dreadful feeling of the world's indifference.
Good morning, sir. What can I do for you?
Well, you can buy one of my paintings, perhaps.
Well, of course, we buy very little time, seeing what they are.
They're landscapes, mostly.
Landscapes. Too bad. They come in every day by the dozen. No, I'm afraid... Oh, Miss Spinney, you startled me.
Another ask, Mr. Matthews?
Yes. This is Miss Spinney, my partner.
How do you do?
What's your name?
Adams. Eben Adams.
Well, what are you so defensive about?
I'm not.
Then don't be in such a hurry to put away your paintings.
Landscapes, Miss Spinney.
Oh, nothing that'll interest you.
You're probably right, but I'd like to see what interests you. Well, you paint a nice boat.
Thank you.
Ever read Robert Browning?
Long time ago.
Do you remember his poem about Andrea del Sarto, the perfect painter? Proportion, anatomy, color. Oh, he had everything and nothing. He painted a perfect hand, while Raphael drew a formless claw. But Raphael loved his work. Poor Andrea del Sarto.
I think I get your point.
There isn't a drop of love in any of these paintings.
Oh, really, Miss Spinney?
I'm an old maid, Mr. Matthews, and nobody knows more about love than an old maid. What's the matter with you, Adams? You'll have to learn to care deeply for something.
What do you mean by that, Adams?
Anyway, we'll take the boat. $12.50, Mr. Adams. If there's any argument, there's no sale.
Oh, there's no argument.
Pay him, Mr. Matthews.
Yes, here. Have you change for $1?
I haven't got a dime.
He'll owe us 50 cents, Mr. Matthews.
Oh, I don't think you really want the painting.
If I hadn't wanted it, I wouldn't have taken it.
Your eyes...
Well...
You have beautiful eyes. Goodbye.
Oh, dear, I'm afraid that picture isn't worth more than a couple of dollars.
No, but Adams is.
We're supposed to be in business for profit.
I bought this for myself.
Yes, Miss Spinney, of course.
At last, I had a little money in my pocket. I started walking toward Central Park, filled with a sudden awareness of something extraordinary. The city sounds were muted and far away like something in a dream. I sat down on a bench, and then I noticed a little package there, something wrapped up in newspaper.
That package, it's mine.
Oh, I didn't know. Isn't anyone here with you?
No. Why should there be?
It's getting dark.
But I don't have to go home yet. Anyway, you're with me. I'm Jenny.
Jenny? Jenny what?
Jenny Appleton. My mother and father are actors. They're working down at Hammerstein's, Victoria. They do juggling on a rope.
Hammerstein's?
Yeah.
Well,
Why?
That theater was torn down years ago when I was a boy.
Oh, you must be thinking of some other place. Because I was there yesterday.
Well, no, really, I remember.
Now let me see your pictures.
How do you know they're pictures?
Oh, I just know. What's this one here?
It's a church near the sea.
Those are awfully little windows for such a big church.
Well, they have to be little. There's so much wind on Cape Cod.
I don't like it. It scares me.
The wind?
No. The black water. There should be a lighthouse out there by the ocean.
How do you know?
I don't exactly remember. Someday I'll show it to you out there on the rocks. It's called Land's End Light.
But you just said you didn't remember.
I don't. I just know. I know a song. Want to hear it?
Yes, I'd like to.
Where I come from, nobody knows. And where I am going, everything goes. The wind blows
taught you that?
Nobody. It's just a song. Do you know the game I like to play best?
What?
It's a wishing game. I'll tell you what I wish most.
Well?
I wish that you could wait for me to grow up so that we could always be together. But you won't, I guess. Well, I can't talk to you anymore. Goodbye.
Wait a minute. That parcel on the bench, you forgot it.
Oh, dear.
You stay here. I'll get it for you.
Oh, thank you.
The little package wrapped in newspaper was still on the bench, but when I returned with it, Jenny was gone. I had dinner and went back to my room, but I couldn't get her out of my mind. Half amused, I started to sketch her from memory. A pencil sketch of a little girl in Central Park.
Well, let me see it.
Well, a little girl I saw in the park, Mr. Matthews.
Well. It's very good. Isn't it, Miss Spinney?
Oh, yes. Very good.
You have a feeling for a face, Mr. Adams. Ever tried portraits?
Oh, not seriously.
Oh, but you should. As for the sketch, I'll give you $25 for it.
Well, Adams, you can stop feeling sorry for yourself.
Sorry, I'm getting 3 meals a day for painting a mural and now $25 for a sketch.
Here's your money.
Oh.
Take it before I change my mind.
And where are you going now?
Oh, nowhere, anywhere. Where I come from, nobody knows, and where I'm going, everything goes.
What's that?
Oh, it's a song that little girl sang in the park.
Well, if you don't know whether you're coming or going, perhaps you'd like a cup of tea.
Thank you, I would.
We'll be in my office, Mr. Matthews.
You have a wonderful view of the park, Miss Spinney.
What's going on over there?
Lots of ice skaters today. You know, I haven't skated since I was a kid in Maine.
Real down eastern, eh?
I want to ask you advice, Miss Spinney. I don't feel sorry for myself the way you said. I'm facing a very practical problem.
An artist facing a practical problem.
No, not the kind you think.
That pencil sketch shows what you can do. All you need is a little inspiration. Any inspiration. That little girl in the park.
Well, I guess that does it. Now, how about you and me taking a twirl out there on the ice?
Oh, go along with you.
I left Miss Spinney with a feeling of exhilaration I hadn't known in years, and just as if I could afford such luxuries, I rented a pair of ice skates. It was a fine, clear day. Everyone around me seemed young, full of laughter.
Mr. Adams? Mr. Adams?
Jenny, well, hello.
Isn't it fun? Oh, I love ice skating.
Can't believe it, you've grown so much taller.
Oh, well, maybe you didn't see me so good before.
No, I'm sure you've grown.
Of course I have. I'm hurting. Don't you remember our wish?
Sure I do. But you called me Mr. Adams. How did you know my name?
The paintings you showed me. Your name was on them. Even Adams.
Oh, yes, of course. By the way, I have something here of yours.
Oh, what a pretty scar.
You said it was yours.
Did I? I'll tell you what. Why don't you keep it for me till I grow up? And then I'll have one more reason to grow up fast.
All right, I will. I owe you a favor anyway.
You do?
I drew a sketch of you and sold it.
Oh, I'm
The
glad.
man who bought it and told me how to paint portraits.
Well, who would you paint, Mr. Adams?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Maybe. Will you let it be me?
Who else?
Oh, you're not joking. You mean it.
Of course.
I'm going to have my picture painted.
How would you like some hot chocolate?
Oh, I love hot chocolate, Mr. Adams.
Let's have some. We can get it right over there.
This is wonderful chocolate, Mr. Adams. Thank you.
Jenny, tell me, where do you live? I'd like to come and see you.
Well, I don't think there's any place you can come and see me yet.
Why?
Oh, it's just the way it is. When will you start my portrait?
Well, whenever your parents will let you sit for me. Where are they now?
At Hammerstein's again.
Oh.
They've got wonderful new tricks way up on the high wire. Sometimes it scares me to watch them. Of course, that's silly. That's why they're so famous. They scare everybody.
I'd like to see them. Why don't you take me to Hammerstein's?
Oh, do let's go. I can get us in free. Could you go to the matinee on Saturday?
I think so. Where will we meet?
Well, let's meet here in the park at that bench where we met before. I'll be there at 2 o'clock. At least I'll try. Well, I really must go now.
Must you?
Goodbye, Mr. Adams.
Goodbye, Jenny.
Looking for someone, Adams?
Oh, Miss Spinney.
I just thought I'd take a little walk. Well,
Well?
who are you staring after?
Oh, that little girl I told you about.
Huh?
See? She's crossing the road, there by the trees. I know now that Spinney didn't see Jenny. She looked at me as though I were a patient who needed watching. When Saturday came, I went again to the park and waited for Jenny, but I sat there alone. Apparently, she'd forgotten. Suddenly, I decided to find out for myself what I could about Jenny's parents. I found their names in old programs at the public library, and then by sheerest accident, someone told me about an old wardrobe woman.
That's right, Mr. Adams. I worked in wardrobe at Hammerstein's for many, many years.
Then you remember some of the old acts. I'm trying to find someone who knew the Appletons. They were acrobats, I think, high trapeze.
Oh, I knew them all, Mr. Adams. All of those wonderful people. And I have them right here in my scrapbook. Of course, I remember the Appletons. And here's their picture, Mary and Frank Appleton.
Who's this little girl with them?
Why, that's their daughter. That's Jenny.
Their daughter?
She must have been about 10 or 11 then.
Well, isn't it possible that this child is their granddaughter?
Oh, no. I knew Jenny when this picture was taken.
Would you know where she is now, Mrs. Morgan?
No, I lost track of her after her parents were killed. That was many years ago.
Killed?
The wire broke. Jenny was in the theater when it happened.
You're sure you don't remember what happened to her?
Well, it seems there was some talk about her aunt wanting to put her in a convent. Jenny wasn't a Catholic, but her aunt said a convent was the best place for a girl to be.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Morgan.
Oh, don't thank me, Mr. Adams. Isn't often I have a chance to share my memories. Well, I hope you find Jenny. She was a dear little girl.
I hope so, too. Jenny, what's the matter?
Father and Mother.
Father? Something's happened. They've had an accident.
I knew it would happen. I was always scared it would happen. And tonight...
Tonight? Oh, Jenny, I know how you feel. I know how much it hurts. But it isn't hurting them. Nothing will ever hurt them again. Please, try to think of it that way.
But they're dead.
We all die sometime.
I love them. They loved me.
You mustn't be too unhappy. They wouldn't want you to be, would they? Would they?
They told me once. They said if anything happened to them, I mustn't be unhappy because they were doing what they wanted to do. And if anything happened, it would happen to them both at the same time. The way they wanted.
There. You see?
So I shouldn't cry, should I? I guess I'm only crying for myself because they're gone and because I'm lonely.
No, Jenny, don't.
Maybe I won't always be lonely. I don't know why, but I don't think I'll be lonely very long. I'm hurrying fast now. My aunt is sending me to a convent.
Convent? Do you want to go?
Oh, yes. After that, I'll be grown up. Don't you understand?
No, Jenny, no. I don't understand. Each time I see you, you've changed. You're older. You talk about things that happened long ago.
Did they? Sometimes I kind of think that, too. But maybe that's because I have to find something.
Find something? But what?
I'm not sure. But I think I'll know someday. I think I'll know when I find it. And I think you'll know, too.
I hope so.
You'll wait for me, won't you? You'll give me a little more time.
All right, Jenny.
Oh, listen. The stars. Can't you hear them? Listen to the stars coming out.
There aren't any stars, Jenny. Not that I can see. It's too cloudy and... Jenny! And once again, as sudden as her coming, Jenny was gone. Jenny was gone, And the mystery which surrounded her, the way she had come and the way she had disappeared, left me helpless and brooding. I was seized by memories so urgent that they were more real to me than my own identity. Everywhere I saw her. Everywhere I heard her. As the winter went by, I worked at whatever jobs I could find, and between times I struggled with the mural in Moore's saloon. But mostly I was content to do nothing, for I knew that I was worthless until and unless Jenny returned. But I needed to tell someone, and who was there to tell but Miss Finney at the art gallery?
Well, at last you're ready to talk about it. All right, Adams. You're an artist who's lost his art. Is that it?
Something like that, I suppose. But I still could paint one important picture, Spinny. Maybe that's all I'm good for, but that much I know I can do.
The portrait of Jenny?
Yes, it's the only thing I've ever been sure of in my life.
But you can't do it without her?
Of course not.
Suppose you never see her again.
No, I can't even think of that.
Maybe you never did see her. Not really.
So you think I created her? That's what you think, isn't it? That I imagined her because I needed her
for an inspiration? Why not? Maybe you saw her, maybe you didn't. What's the difference? By the time you're my age, you'll learn to believe in lots of things you can't see. But if I were you, I'd stop moping.
And do what?
Stretch a new canvas. Get your brushes ready. You asked what I think, and I think that Jenny is coming back.
Jenny. Jenny, it can't be you.
I tried to get here sooner, Evan, but I couldn't.
You're beautiful, Jenny. And you've grown so.
Well, of course I have. I'm hurrying. Why, I'm in my first year of college at the convent.
Let me look at you.
Oh, Evan, I've thought of you so much. It could fill an eternity.
What did you think?
About how wonderful it all is. And how I've searched and searched. How we'll be together always. I'm almost sure. Evan, what's that sketch? That's Land's End, isn't it, in the lighthouse?
How do you know? Have you ever been there?
I don't know. I think.
It's an old, deserted lighthouse up on Cape Cod. I painted it long ago.
Makes me unhappy.
Well, then I'll put it away. Jenny, remember the portrait we planned? Your portrait?
Then you haven't forgotten.
Let's start it now, please. Jenny, sit over here. You don't mind?
Mind? Oh, Evan, the girls will be so jealous when I tell them. Am I sitting right?
Now, turn your head the other way. No. Leave your hair alone. It's fine. That's just the way I want it.
Yes, Evan. Some of my friends at the convent are taking the veil next Sunday.
Now, don't move.
Could you come and see the ceremonies with me?
I'd love to, Jenny. Only please, sit still.
I'm sorry, Evan. Evan, promise you won't forget me.
Yeah, fix your eyes on something, Jenny. Hold your hand. That's fine. That's fine, Jenny. It was morning before I knew it. Jenny left to go back to the convent, and I let her go with hardly a word as I kept working intently on the portrait. But that Sunday, I went to New Jersey to the convent she'd told me about.
Evan, what's wrong?
Oh, nothing's wrong now, Jenny, but I was afraid you might not be here.
Oh, I told you I'd be here. This way, Evan. We'll have to hurry if we want to see the ceremony. The ones with the candles are the ones who are taking the veil.
I see.
Our teachers are in back of them. And that's my favorite, the one nearest the altar. That's Sister Mary of Mercy. I'm so glad you're waiting for me, Evan. This is the convent garden, Evan. We can sit here if you like.
You're happy here, Jenny?
Oh, yes. I love the convent. It makes me feel a little closer to the truth of things. As if pretty soon I would understand.
Sun's going down.
In the same lovely sky. Just as it did yesterday and will tomorrow.
What is tomorrow, Jenny?
Doesn't matter. It's always. This was tomorrow once.
Where I come from, nobody knows. And where I'm going, everything goes.
I've I've heard that somewhere.
Of course you have. You sang it to me that first day in the park.
Did I? I've forgotten.
The wind blows, the sea flows. God knows.
I think he knows, Evan.
So this is where the master works. Well, Adams, where is it? Where's the portrait?
Sit over here, Spinny. It's not much of a place, Mr. Matthews. Here's a chair.
We're not here to admire your studio, you know.
Now, about the portrait, remember, it isn't finished yet.
Oh, don't be coy. Let's see it.
Well, here it is.
Oh,
Well, now. Well.
What do you think?
that you found what you were looking for.
You like it?
Adams, it's... Well,
He means he likes it.
I'm glad. But it isn't finished. It really isn't.
Take it easy, Adams. Yes. Yes, it's a great painting.
I left my work on the portrait only to walk in the park, to linger at that bench, knowing I was caught by an enchantment beyond time and change, knowing at last that love is endless and today's little happiness only a part of it. A few such days went by, and then late one night in the park, Jenny was there waiting for me.
Hold me, Evan. Hold me. Hold me tight.
Jenny, I've looked for you here so often.
Oh, I had to see you tonight. I'm leaving the convent, Evan. I've graduated.
Jenny, then we can be together. Together always.
Evan, my aunt is ill. She wants me to go away with her for the summer.
Well, when do you have to go?
Tomorrow. If I couldn't go without saying goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, it'll only be for a few months. Anyway, we have until the morning.
Oh, I'll be lost without you.
No, don't say that. We can't both of us be lost. Evan, you're unhappy.
You're going away with your aunt for the summer. Wherever it is, no matter how far away, it's a place that can be reached. And that kind of distance I know about. You can measure it in miles and hours. But now I feel there's another kind of distance, Jenny.
Evan, what is it?
You know what I mean. A distance of yesterday and tomorrow, and it frightens me because there's no way to bridge it.
Oh, but there is. At this moment, I know there is.
Oh, I want it to be forever.
It will be, Evan. It will be.
Jenny, I'm not going to think of the summer or of the future at all. I leave that to you. Why we met, how it came about, I don't know.
I know we were meant for each other. The strands of our lives are woven together, and nothing can tear them apart. Oh, Evan, I wish you'd finish my portrait.
Portrait? Yes. We'll finish it now.
Suppose if I talk, Evan.
I'll tell you if it does.
Evan, do you think people can know what lies ahead? I mean, what's going to happen to me?
Jenny, you must...
Oh, I guess that's silly. Guess it's just my funny mind. I won't talk anymore, Evan. I'm just going to sit here and let you work.
Jenny, are you all right?
Hello, Evan.
Oh, hello. You fell asleep.
Where are we?
Together. Poor darling, you must be worn out. I'm sorry. Jenny, look. It's finished.
My picture. Oh, Evan, is it really me?
It's you. Portrait of Jenny.
Oh, I think it's a fine painting.
See it?
I think it'll make you famous. I think someday it'll hang in a museum and people will come from all over the world to see it.
If they do, it won't be my work they'll come to see. It'll be you.
Oh, Evan, I want always just to sit and watch you
And
paint.
now that I've found a perfect model, I'll paint her again and again.
Oh,
and again.
no, I didn't mean that. I mean, I want you to paint all the beautiful things in the world.
You're the most beautiful thing in the world.
Evan, these pictures of yours, of the sea and Land's End Light, each time I see them, my heart seems to stop.
Land's End Light. I suppose it is a forlorn sort of place.
Well, don't let's talk about it anymore. Tell me about Paris. Did you study there?
For a while.
Oh, Evan, I wish we could be there together. It'd be such fun.
We'll do it, Jenny. I'll take you to the Luxembourg, to the fair at Fontainebleau, to St. Cloud.
Oh, I feel as though we were there already. As though we've been spending our whole lives together.
Jenny, what is it? What is it that makes a man and a woman know that Of all the other men and women in the world, they belong to each other. Is it just chance their being alive in the world at the same time? You think it's possible that there might be others in other times whom we might have loved and who might have loved us?
Oh, no. No other. Among all the people who've lived from world's end to world's end, there's just one you must love. One you must seek till you find it. You, Evan. You, my darling.
Jenny.
I must go, Evan.
No, Jenny, no, please.
I don't want to. We'll meet again when the summer's over.
Are you sure, Jenny?
I don't quite know where. The wind blows, the sea flows. Oh, Evan, I want to be sure. Tell me you're sure.
I'm sure, Jenny.
I'll get my things. Oh, Evan, what a lovely scarf.
It's yours, Jenny.
Present for me.
I've been saving it for a long time, ever since we first met in the park. Are you going to wear it? Because if you... Jenny! Jenny! The room was empty and without sound. Only the beat of rain striking against the window. As the weeks went by, the sun in the afternoon slanted low over the city, and sometimes at dusk a wedge of wild duck wavered southward against the Manhattan sky. Summer had turned into fall, and Jenny did not return. I felt a dreadful loneliness. Where was she?
There's just one thing I'd like to ask, Adams, before you tell me to mind my own business.
All right, Spinny, what is it?
I've asked it before. What if she never comes back?
Oh, she's got to.
Things happen to people, but the others still must go on living.
You've never really believed any part of it, have you, Spinny?
Well...
It doesn't matter whether anyone believes or not, because I know.
You once told me she was going to a convent.
She's not there anymore. She graduated.
But isn't it possible that the sisters would know where she is?
Sisters?
Maybe they kept in touch with her.
Yes, there was one who was a favorite.
Well, then why don't you write to her or see her?
Yes. Yes, of course.
What is it you wanted to see me about, Mr. Adams?
There was a girl, sister, who graduated from here. I thought possibly you might have some information as to where she is. Her name is Jenny Appleton.
Jenny Appleton?
You remember her? You were her favorite teacher?
Yes. Yes, I remember Jenny very well.
Have you heard from her? Where is she?
Mr. Adams, Jenny died.
When?
Years ago. I'm afraid I've shocked you.
Well, no, we obviously aren't speaking of the same person.
Did you know her family?
No, I only know they were killed in an accident.
They were trapeze performers?
Yes.
Then I'm afraid it must be the same Jenny Appleton. Her aunt brought her here shortly after the parents' death. She stayed with us until she graduated. Then her aunt came and took her to New England. It was that autumn that the terrible tidal wave hit the New England coast. 10 years ago, October 5th. I remember it well.
Tidal wave?
I learned later that Jenny was in the habit of sailing out every day to a little cove near an abandoned lighthouse.
Land's End Light.
It was during one of those trips that the tidal wave struck. That was the last anyone ever saw.
Land End's Light. That's where I'll find her.
But Jenny is dead, Mr. Adams. You must accept that fact, hard as it may be.
I won't accept it. Don't tell me she's dead. I held her in my arms 3 months ago, not 10 years ago. I love her and I want her back.
What vision you've had, I can't say. But don't doubt the ways of Providence. You must have faith. We know so little, Mr. Adams. So very little.
When did you say that wave struck the coast?
October 5th.
And today is...
October 3rd.
That leaves me 2 days.
Mr. Adams, that October 5th was many years ago.
Are you so sure? You say we know so little. You say Jenny's parents were killed. I found her sobbing on a park bench the night it happened. You say she was a student here. I visited her here. You say she went to New England with her aunt. I was with her just before she left. Then how can you say it all happened many years ago? Yes. We know so little, and yet now I know a little more. Now I know the pattern of Jenny's life, but I also know that I am part of it. She herself said that strands of our lives were woven together and nothing could break them. This I have faith in. Thank you, sister. Thank you for your kindness.
You're going to Land's End?
Yes, I'm going to Jenny. The next morning, I went to the art gallery of Matthews and Spinney. I brought along my portrait of Jenny.
I'm impressed, Adams. Tremendously impressed. Of course we can sell it for you.
It's not for sale, Mr. Matthews, not yet. I brought the portrait here hoping you'd store it for me until I come back.
Come back? Oh, yes. I'll put it in the vault immediately.
Where are you going, Adams?
Well, I think I know where Jenny's going to be, and I've got to be there waiting for her. A little place on Cape Cod called Land's End.
You seem to be in a great hurry to get there.
There's not much time. I can get a train in an hour.
If you let me show that portrait, Mr. Adams, I think I can promise you a lot of commission.
In that case, perhaps you'll advance me $100.
Give him the $100, Mr. Matthews.
Yes, of course. What's the matter, Adams? Something wrong?
Just give him the money.
Thank you.
As you say, Miss Finney.
Thank you both for everything.
Have a good rest, my boy.
And paint me a little church while you're there. A little white church with a big steeple. And don't get yourself drowned in the sea.
What makes you say that?
Oh, men do such foolish things. And I'm afraid of the ocean.
You're tough. Sea wouldn't get you.
Tough ones drown, too, you know. Now get out of here before you miss your train.
On the night of October 4th, I reached the village of Land's End, facing the Atlantic Ocean. It was a quiet night, heavy with mist and fog. There was a light on in the hardware store.
I guess my niece can put you up all right. You'll find her place on the side of the grade school.
Thanks, I'll stop by later. Any warning of the storm yet?
No storm round here, young fella. There's the barometer. Fair weather, that's what he says.
How far in advance would the barometer show for storm work coming up?
Far enough.
Didn't show far enough when we had that hurricane back in the 20s.
I heard about that hurricane. It happened just about this time of year, didn't it?
I gotta come to think of it, it did. October the 5th.
I'd like to get out to Land's End Light. Do you know where I could rent a boat?
Land's End Light.
But that light ain't been used for years, mister.
Can't think why anybody'd want to go out there.
Never mind my reasons. Do you know someone with a boat?
You better go and see Eke Ellis. I've heard how he rents out sometimes.
Well, where'll I find him?
Oh, ain't hard to find Eke. He's always sitting in the same place. Just you go down to the jetty, mister. You'll find it.
Mighty nice of you to rent me your boat, Mr. Ellis.
You don't know what good it'll do you. How'd you figure to get around in all this fog? Ain't a breath of wind either.
There'll be wind tomorrow. Plenty of it.
Maybe. Never been too sure about them things. Not since that hurricane we had back in the 20s.
What about the wave? I heard something about a great wave.
Great wave. Yeah, there was a wave, all right. Sometimes you think you never really saw it, but just read about it like something in the scriptures. It rose up out of the sea like a mountain, coming toward the land like the day of judgment.
You didn't happen to know a girl, a visitor, who was caught by the wave? Her name was Jenny Appleton?
Huh. Queer you should ask that. Why, I used to rent her a boat. I shall never forget her till the day I die. You knew her, Mr. Adams?
Yes, I knew her.
Pretty little thing, wasn't she? Big, sad eyes she had. Big, sad eyes, and there's something about her that seemed to come from far away.
What happened exactly? Where was she when the wave struck?
Well, she'd reached Land's End Point, that much is certain, because I found the bow of my boat tied to the wharf there. Anyway, what was left of it.
Well, if she had made the lighthouse, she might have been saved. Isn't that so?
Yeah, but she didn't make it. It's a pretty tough climb up them rocks to the light, especially for a female. All that wind and sea.
I suppose it would be, alone.
Well, you come by in the morning, Mr. Adams. The boat will be ready for you.
The air was still and heavy when I left the jetty early the next morning, but once offshore, the fog lifted quickly. Overhead, the clouds were gathered, large and low and ugly. Then the wind came, sweeping up off the water, and I had all I could do to hold my course. A few miles out on a tiny point of land, I could see the old lighthouse and the white water beating against the rocks. The storm broke suddenly, thunder, lightning, and the angry lashing of the Black Sea. I sailed straight for the light, for the towering rocks that rose out of the surf. Somehow I reached the shore. Somehow I climbed over the rocks to the shelter of the lighthouse. Maybe if I reached the top of the lighthouse, I would see her. Of the light, the storm seemed to wheel, to turn in its course and sweep out toward the sea. And in the clearing light, I saw the boat, Jenny's boat, driving toward the beach. I rushed from the lighthouse, remembering what Eke Ellis had told me.
She reached Land's End Point, that much is certain, because I found the bow of the boat tied to the wharf there.
The shore. She saw me. She was running to me now across the rocky beach.
Evan. Oh, it's been so long.
Jenny.
Let me look at you.
I was so afraid I wouldn't find you. I'll never let you go again. Never. Hurry, hon. Give me your hand. We can't stay here.
Oh, it's all right, Evan.
Jenny, the wave, the tidal wave, it's coming.
It's all right, Evan. Whatever happens.
Whatever happens, it's you I want, Jenny, not just dreams of you.
Evan.
Please believe me. The wave will strike again and soon, but we can have a whole lifetime together.
We can have all eternity together, Evan. Can't you see? We were lonely and unloved. I made an error, but you waited for me and we found each other.
Now we must lose everything.
No, Evan. No, we're just beginning. There is no life, my darling, until you've loved and been loved. And then there is no death.
You're coming with me, Jenny. We can reach the lighthouse.
Oh, Evan, no. Go without me, please.
How can I? There's nothing in life, nothing at all without you.
You must live on, Evan. Stay.
The wave, Jenny. Here it comes.
Goodbye, my darling.
Jenny!
He's all right now, Miss Penny. That is, he'll be all right. Still in bed, of course. You got company, young fella.
Penny.
Hello, Adams.
What are you doing here?
Well, frankly, I was worried about you, and it seems I had reason to be. You can thank Mr. Cobb you're alive.
It's a mighty lucky thing he told Eke Ellis where he was able to send for her, or 'tain't likely we'd ever have been able to find him at all.
Mr. Cobb, tell me. Did you find anyone else?
There was nobody else darn fool enough to keep a boat out in that blow.
But her boat, she had a boat.
You don't rightly know what you're talking about, young fella. 'Tweren't no other boat. Well, I best get into the store.
You saw Jenny again, didn't you, Adams?
Oh, it was awful, Spinny. I tried to hold on to her, but the wave...
Take it easy. At least you saw her again.
You believe, Spinny? I'm glad.
Yes.
You do, don't you?
You believe it. That's all that matters.
Spinny, that scarf. Where'd you get it?
This? It was near you when they found you out there on the beach.
Yes, Spinny, I saw Jenny again.
You mean this is hers? Jenny?
It's all right, Spinny. I haven't lost her. Everything's all right now.
Well, Miss Spinny, they bought it. I sold Adams' painting, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Oh, did you hear me? The Metropolitan...
Yes. I'm pleased beyond words, Mr. Matthews, but I'm not surprised. Not really.
Adams is still on Cape Cod. I'll send him a telegram.
Yes, I think you might.
It's remarkable when you stop and think, isn't it, Miss Spinny? Remarkable.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the celebrated painting by Eben Adams, acquired by the museum a few years ago. There was nothing distinguished in any of Adams' earlier work, but all of his later period is now recognized as being greatly inspired, commencing with this haunting and almost legendary portrait of Jenny.
Portrait of Jenny. Oh, isn't she beautiful?
I wonder if she was real, Miss Finney.
I don't know.
Oh, she must have been. What does it matter? She was real to him, or she couldn't look so alive.
How very wise you are.
Oh, Eva, is it really me? I think it's a fine painting. People will come from all over the world.